What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are a fan of hard-hitting, unrestrained crime films that do not pull any punches, then this list is for you. Today we are diving deep into the 10 most shockingly violent gangster movies of all time. I am talking about the films that made audiences flinch and cover their eyes from the sheer brutality on screen. The ones that were not afraid to depict the harsh realities of the criminal underworld through vicious acts of bloodshed and depravity. So, get ready because it is about to get messy. Here we go with 10. Eastern Promises, 2007.
We were like a contagious disease. There's no cure once they've touched you.
Kicking off our list is this intense David Cronenberg thriller that pulls back the curtain on the Russian mafia's depraved human trafficking operations. Right from the shocking opening throat-slashing, you know you are in for a rough ride. The notorious nude bathhouse fight scene where Viggo Mortensen takes on Chechen mobsters is just unbelievably savage and boundary-pushing. Under Cronenberg's direction, the violence is unflinching and deeply disturbing, giving you a glimpse into the brutality needed to survive in the Russian underworld. 9. Once Upon a Time in America, 1984. Sergio Leone's 1984 epic spans decades following a group of Jewish gangsters in New York City from their youth in the 1920s to the 1960s. While not as gory as some others on this list, it most definitely does not shy away from shocking sexual violence. There are multiple scenes depicting horrific acts committed against women by men abusing their power. Leone holds nothing back in showing the despicable nature of these gangsters and the negative effects their violence had on the immigrant communities they terrorized. Extremely tough stuff. 8. The Killer, 1989. Hang on tight, because this 1989 Hong Kong action flick from director John Woo is like strapping into a bloody roller coaster ride. The Killer is a full-tilt mashup of the gangster and action movie genres. It features some of the most mind-blowing choreographed gunfights and hand-to-hand combat sequences you will ever see. Except here, the balletic violence is extremely graphic and unflinching. We are talking bloody squib impacts, gruesome close-range headshots, and bone-crunching martial arts strikes. 7. Pulp Fiction, 1994. You knew Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece Pulp Fiction would appear on this list, right? This completely revolutionized the way violence was portrayed on screen when it hit theaters in the 90s. Through its non-linear crime stories, Pulp Fiction serves as a bold commentary on America's twisted fascination with and desensitization to violence in media and pop culture. We are talking about brutal shootouts, beatings, and depictions of torture that will make you wince.
Got a corpse in a car, minus the head in a garage. Take me to it.
6. City of God, 2002.
A gente chegou na cidade de Deus com a esperança de encontrar o paraíso.
If you want to see a brutally realistic depiction of urban gang violence, then this critically acclaimed Brazilian film City of God needs to be at the top of your watch list. Based on true events in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro over several decades, it shows the widespread impact of endemic violence on these impoverished neighborhoods. As gangs battled for control, families and innocent bystanders were constantly caught in the crossfire. The sheer carnage and loss of human life portrayed in some of these shootout sequences is just staggering. City of God clearly does not hold anything back in showing the devastating ripple effects of the drug war and criminal activity. 5. Gangs of New York, 2002. Leave it to the legendary Martin Scorsese to make one of the most violently epic and grand-scale gangster movies of all time with 2002's Gangs of New York.
With this knife that struck him down, let me put to rest my father's ghost.
I took the father, now I'll take the son.
Set in the 1800s, the film thrusts you into the middle of the brutal turf wars between rival immigrant gangs in the 5 Point slums of New York City. Brace yourself for some shockingly savage depictions of street violence and all-out gang warfare in this one. From unrelenting hand-to-hand brawling to outrageous assassinations, each over-the-top fight sequence hits like a sledgehammer and really captures the squalor and lawless chaos of the period. The production values of this movie are just insane. 4. Gangs of Wasseypur, 2012. Let us travel over to India next for this unbelievable two-part crime saga from director Anurag Kashyap that is an absolute must-see if you can stomach the violence. Taking place over several decades, Gangs of Wasseypur chronicles the vicious power struggles between three criminal families battling for control of a coal mining town. And I really do mean vicious. The film is utterly uncompromising in its depiction of the cyclical nature of violence plaguing this town. Bloody vendettas and horrific retaliation create this oppressive atmosphere that weighs down on the characters in a deeply disturbing yet engrossing way. 3. The Godfather, 1972.
Do you renounce Satan and all his works?
I do renounce him.
You knew this was coming, had to be on the list, right? Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather is not only the most iconic and celebrated gangster film ever, but it is also home to some of the most shockingly violent moments in the entire genre. From the very first brutal murder we see when Luca Brasi's body is uncovered, to the infamous horse head in the bed, to Sonny Corleone's tragic death in that iconic tollbooth shootout scene. The Godfather pulls zero punches in portraying the savagery surrounding the Italian-American mafia's criminal activities. 2. Goodfellas, 1990.
Bucko, you want some?
Coming in at the number 2 spot is yet another Martin Scorsese masterpiece, the film that many regard as the greatest mob movie ever made, 1990's Goodfellas. Based on the real-life story of mobster-turned-informant Henry Hill, this one is a full-immersion descent into the shockingly amoral and perilously violent existence of organized crime life. From the infamous "I amuse you" scene to the startlingly realistic depictions of hits, executions, and brutal beatings, Goodfellas is a masterclass in making the audience feel like they are there living in the thick of the bloodshed. One, Scarface, 1983. But there can only be one movie to take the top spot as the single most shockingly violent gangster film in cinematic history, the one, the only, the iconic Scarface from director Brian De Palma. This 1983 crime epic about the ruthlessly ambitious Cuban refugee-turned-Miami drug kingpin Tony Montana is just a full-on, unrelenting cavalcade of brutality. From that chilling, "say hello to my little friend" scene to the overwhelming climax where Montana goes out in a hail of bullets, Scarface celebrates violence as a cinematic art form like no other. So, there you have it, movie fans, the 10 most insanely, shockingly, deliriously violent gangster films to ever grace the big screen. While the bloodshed and depravity depicted in these movies is undoubtedly excessive at times, each one uses extreme violence as a powerful storytelling tool to immerse you in their harsh criminal underworlds in bold, uncompromising ways. From the masterful Italian-American mobster sagas to gritty foreign crime epics, the impact these movies have had on moving the crime genre forward is undeniable. They are the films that pushed the boundaries and left audiences shook from just how far they were willing to go. So that is my list. What did you think? Did I cover all the big ones that should have made the cut? Or did I accidentally leave out your favorite shockingly violent gangster flick? Let me know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe for more hard-hitting movie lists and breakdowns. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there on those mean streets, and I will catch you next time.